Hi, we're going to talk about one of my favorite things today, which is Ayurvedic aromatherapy and the aromatic use of essential oils, and in particular, aromatherapy for stress. So, essential oils are a key component of Ayurvedic medicine for stress relief. They perform a key part of that. Traditionally, it's been done through Ayurvedic oil massage and the techniques there. But we're going to look at some other ways besides the massage that we can use these in our practice today. So stay tuned for how to use essential oils in Ayurveda, some of the key Ayurvedic scents, and we're going to be mixing some ancient wisdom with modern science today to look at the science behind Ayurvedic aromatherapy and the aromatic use of essential oils, in particular for stress. Hi, I'm Krista with Flourish, your wellness lifestyle coach using Ayurveda and essential oils. We are diving in deep with the aromatic use of essential oils today, and we're going to be talking a little bit about how this affects your dosha as well. So I have a link below for you to take that dosha test if you're not sure what that is. And that test also comes with lots of tips on both essential oils and other healthy daily habits to balance your dosha. All right, let's dive in and look at essential oils. And so to start off with, there's three ways that we use them typically, right? We aromatically, topically, and internally. Ayurvedic use of essential oils is typically through the topical and the aromatic combined. So when we use our Ayurvedic oil massage, you're getting those two combined benefits within that. We're going to talk about that more in a moment. We don't typically talk a lot of internal use with Ayurveda, and that is because traditionally there has not been great sources of pure essential oils that are not synthetic and that we know are scientifically controlled, so you get pure results each time, right? So we now have really great quality essential oils. There's a few brands out there. I love the doTERRA brand, who are making a really impact on the therapeutic use of essential oils, which is so beneficial and goes really well hand in hand with our Ayurveda. So we can start to mix in some of those internal uses as well. But today we're going to focus on the aromatic use, and the typical methods of aromatic use are diffusing. So having a diffuser, you can see mine going in the background there. Inhaling it from your hands, you can just simply place a drop in your hands and breathe it in is our favorite method, a quick method that you can take anywhere as you go. You can have diffuser jewelry that you put on. You can just put a swipe under your nose so you're smelling it as you're hiking, or I love to do that when I'm outside because it kind of stops the nose drip in the wintertime. And then also too, I love my long hair because my diffuser. So you can do that as well. There's all sorts of ways that you can be using this aromatically and just getting the benefits from that. Basically, when you smell an oil, right? And so looking at the benefits, they are improving your mood is the number one. We're going to talk about that one today. Calming your stress response and focusing the brain is a good one for the aromatic use of essential oils. Cleaning the air and boosting your immunity can even come into play on this one. So all sorts of ways. But we're going to focus in a lot on the stress response and using essential oils for stress relief. So our challenges with emotions and stress and sleep all come from that limbic system of the brain. So you can take a look here. We have that base brain, or the reptile brain, where we have that fight-flight response. We have our sensory gateways, where we're kind of taking things in, perceiving things. We have our movement reward centers, kind of like light up at different times or get shut down at different times. We have the regulating of body functions that kind of comes into this limbic system. So that rapid heart rate that can come, that flush to the system, that heating or cooling of the body. And then our emotions, just kind of how we're feeling, how we're perceiving, how we're relating to the world around us, all kind of links into this limbic system. And then surrounding this, we have our cerebral cortex. So this is where our higher level thinking happens, okay? AKA making the good decision department. So when we're thinking things through instead of acting on impulse. Right? So this is the benefit of being human sometimes. But it's connecting these two thoughts together. It's, connecting, being able to think before we act, that center within there. So that's the corpus callosum that sits outside of that limbic system. Okay, this is a key factor. And then surrounding this, we have our olfactory nerve. It was surrounding this, but kind of coming into integrating through this. And I'm going to show you a really good picture of this in just a moment. But when we are triggered, when this is happening, what happens is this corpus callosum becomes disengaged from this limbic system. So think of the limbic system as that thumb inside your fist. And when you get, triggered, that response, this starts to lift. It starts to lift. And even, I love how Dan Siegel calls this like flipping your lid, where they're actually not connected anymore. So our higher level thinking is not available to us when we're in that fight, flight, or freeze response system. Okay, and this becomes really important as how we're using essential oils aromatically. So here's a little like that little going closer in the close-up picture of that limbic system where your memories are stored, your emotions are stored, that fight, flight, or freeze system, or anytime you're noticing when you're doing things that you're acting out of character, right? Acting not the way you want to be, not that you're being the person you didn't want to be when you got up in the morning. You're getting triggered by different things, or easily being triggered, or not able to get out of a mood or a funk, or that weight that kind of descends on us sometimes. Anytime you feel this way, this is starting to happen, right? And so thinking, like as a parent, I can think of times when I've dealing with a daughter who was, in this mode where she had been triggered, and reason is not going to be happening, right? We can't interact on a logical matter within that. They've got, different, maybe even yourself, you've felt this, where the stress response is happening, you just avoided an accident, all of a sudden things are happening, and you don't have a lot of that logical thinking happening on. But what can you do, right? So when this is happening, it doesn't actually lift off, right? They're not making space within our brain. But what happens is the control centers, the neurons, are no longer talking to each other, right? So they've kind of separated, or there's a barrier between them. Sometimes it's just that you're not, sometimes, especially when you feel that heavy fog around there, there's just a barrier you can't get through. And so essential oils are essentially chemical messages that help to link those parts of the brain, right? So they help to reconnect those thinking centers together. So it can help you get out of that fight, flight, or freeze response and get back to where you can start to use logic again and coming into play, where you can start to regulate your emotions in a thinking way and not just by impulse control. So the essential oils are molecules that are interpreters or connectors. So when we flip our lid, that corpus callosum, we can form those connections again, okay? When you can't think straight, when you're angry or you're upset, it's all chemistry, really. It's just, things that are flooding through your body. And sometimes you can almost feel that flood as it kind of comes through your body. And just be aware of that. It's like, oh, I've got some chemistry happening within there. Okay, and there is an antidote, right? There are things that we can do, which is the good part of this. So how does this work, right? So this is coming into the olfactory system and the nerve that comes in there. And so when you use essential oils that are 100% natural, so we're looking at non-synthetic essential oils. So you have to be particular in the type of oils that you use, because the synthetics are going to be a toxin to the system and they don't react the same way in our body. They can actually be detrimental instead of beneficial. They may smell nice, but there's something off to that smell, you can tell. So the ones you buy in the grocery store or in the mall are not going to be 100% pure. They will have some chemical additives to that. It's just part of business, right? It's just the way that they're sourced. So you want to use something where nothing has been added and nothing has been taken away. So part of it might be simply the chemistry of the essential oils. And this is why they have not played a big role in Ayurveda before, because it's really delicate chemistry as to how high you take something. If you take it too high or too low, now you're affecting the nature of the molecule and the therapeutic benefits that you get out of that. Okay, so when you put that drop in your hand, and you can actually do that with me. If you've got an essential oil, your favorite of yours, go ahead and grab it. I grabbed tangerine here, but peppermint, tangerine, any of the florals, any of the tree oils, anything is going to work, right? So just taking that in and just feel that. So, and when you breathe it in, you are, this is a known delivery system, you could say, both legal and illegal, to affecting the responses within the brain, right? So as you breathe that in, those chemical constituents are going up through the nose and connecting through that olfactory nerve to the limbic system of the brain. Okay, so it kind of wraps all around that limbic system and connects in through there. So the nose has this direct connection point to that. And this can help you then affect your mood. It can help you get out of that flight or freeze response, and get you back to that thinking stage again. And so it's nice to know that you have something you can do. I'm just enjoying that sense of the tangerine there. It's that first step that you can take sometimes to shifting your mood. And then you're able to take that next step, which might be going for a walk or calling a friend or something like that, right? So it's helpful to influence your mood. So I'm using it behind me right now to help me like think clearer. Right? So just diffusing it in my workspace helps me get more done in a day, helps me be more productive. So I have more time to do those other things besides work that I love to do, right? Super helpful in that regard. All right, so aromatherapy for stress is very effective, right? So this is traditionally combined with our Ayurvedic oil massage. So when you're applying your oil massage, you are breathing in those scents. So when you have some essential oils within that, and typically the blends will contain that'll be a base oil and the essential oils that come into play with that. But beyond the oil massage, you can use these Ayurvedically in any number of those ways, using it in meditation, breathing it in before you do your meditation, diffusing it just in the air around you, just to feel that quick effect of the oils on your mood. It's a very quick delivery system that we have in place there. So some of the oils that we use for this, and it is different for different doshas as to what might be going on, right? So typically a vata response or imbalance, stress response might be feeling ungrounded or overwhelmed, or just, feeling, that rapid heartbeat, or just that, just hard to take your breath. And then our grounding oils can be super helpful for that. So I love the doTERRA Balance blend, which is just like made for vata responses. And it's combining the sweetness of the florals, which are really good for vata, kind of the moist nature, the heaviness, kind of that grounding factor, and the tree oils, which gives us stability within there. Or something like tangerine, the citrus oils are really beneficial for kapha and kind of lightening the mood and kind of lifting us out of that lethargy that kind of can take place within that. And then our pitta responses might be more of an irritation response. And I love the adaptive blend for this one that has some wild orange that's calming within there. It has some magnolia that works within there. And copaiba, just some beautiful oils that help to bring that back down. Rose is another beautiful one for pitta responses as well, and bringing that back down in. That adaptive blend is actually tridoshic in terms of how it works. It's got a little bit of everything for everyone within that, and it's kind of one of my first oils that going on. That's the one that's back in my diffuser right now as well. All right, so other ways that we can use the Ayurvedic aromatherapy as well is for cleaning the air, right? So a lot of essential oils are antimicrobial and antibacterial, and so they can work their magic on bacteria, right? That's in our surroundings. They inhibit the growth of airborne bacteria, and they can just reduce microbial contamination that's around you in your area for that. So various studies have proven that some of the most popular oils, that being lavender, eucalyptus, and tea tree Ayurvedic oils, can reduce the presence of airborne microbes by 30 to 60, within 30 to 60 minutes of diffusing those oils. They can kind of greatly reduce those. So some really good studies out on that. So they're cleaning the air and they're protecting the surfaces that they drop on. They're also going to inhibit bacterial and viral infection internally as you breathe them in, right, as well. So you'll get that effect internally, that internal consumption within that, and that helps to boost your immunity coming into play for that. So that brings us back to our why on this one. So just a comment, so inhaling in synthetics as chemicals is going to do the opposite of everything that we've talked about within here. So know your nature, right? Know your oils, know where they come from, and be really secure in their efficacy and their potency within that. So be confident in how they're sourced and how they're treated and processed to make sure that you're getting the most benefit from the oils that you use. So it's one thing to enjoy the smell, but it's another thing to have that therapeutic benefit within that. But know that however you choose to use them, whether it's through your oil massage and taking that moment to breathe it in, whether you do a 1 minute meditation throughout the day to kind of get that uplifting benefit of your oils as you go along, and or whether you're using them, diffusing them just around you in your space, you will be able to feel those effects of lifting the mood, better clarity, boosting your immunity, and just overall just feeling a much kind of raising your vibrancy. So essential oils are that pure, potent vibrancy that we're looking for in Ayurveda from our food and our practices, and definitely from your essential oils. So I hope this was helpful. Comment below what oil you're going to reach for, what you're needing in the moment to reach for to switch your mood, and how you'll be able to use those. And don't forget to click on the link to download the Dosha test if you have not taken that as well. And there's some great suggestions in there on balancing your dosha, both aromatically and with all of the other healthy daily habits that we use. Namaste.